What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of HR Heretics. All right, Kelli, today we're going to talk about a tweet from Anjani, who is a GP at Andreessen, and he said, one of my fastest growing companies has a simple rule for Slack since day one. No private DMs. All DMs are sent in a public channel called private DMs with mentions. Anyone can instantly plug into any conversation across any team. It's amazing for culture. What do you think about that?
This is a mind blow. I don't even know. Like, let's try to wrap our heads around it first. This means to me, I'm picturing a 300-person company with everyone able to fly in and out of every DM in one main channel.
I think it's more of like every team has a channel, and all channels at the company are public by default. And so you can just look and see what everyone's talking about.
Okay. I mean, I'm just thinking about our company. Like, most channels are public. You can browse and join. Some aren't. I think, first of all, like, I don't know about you, but so many people, and like competent, fast people, have so many issues with dealing with Slack as is. Even like a direct DM to them. Like, Nolan, hi. So I don't know how this is functional. Like, I bet a lot of things get missed in this company, is my first reaction.
Okay.
I do like the transparency. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, I love that aspect of it. Like, I love the spirit of this. I don't like anonymous AMAs. I don't like a bunch of hidden stuff. I don't like the underground Slack channel. And one level of underground Slack channel is the usual just terrible behavior of people slacking each other in meetings, you know, talking shit about the meeting, or that's one level. But I've seen and heard of like underground Slack channels with like leaders in the company just getting people together, just not doing great stuff. And I just think that's awful for culture. So I do like the transparency part of this.
Yeah, I think it's like really aspirational. Like, that was my take, is like, I get public by default makes sense. And having defaults be public is important because defaults are really, really important. The thing I think about, though, is like, putting myself in a situation in a company. I'm struggling with somebody on my team. They're underperforming. I'm going through all of the different, machinations in my head to where I'm like, what do I do about this? How do I think about this? Typically what I would do is I would DM another leader or, some like a close confidant. And I'd say like, hey, I'm having an issue with this person. Like, can we talk about it? So those conversations still have to be happening, right? There's still going to be private conversations. There's no way that you can avoid those things. And I don't know, I guess like it feels a little bit performative to me. I think my overarching take is like, okay, cool. Like, but come on, there's still private conversations happening. Like, let's be serious.
Yeah, it's kind of like when companies are like, we don't have a rating system. People get fucking rated. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? So I do think it's a little performative. I mean, look, what do we have here? 245 hearts, whatever that means in Twitter land, X land, sorry. 139 shares, 400,000 views. Like, it's interesting. It catches your attention. I would give half my paycheck to go around and see how that works in practice at this company. I bet you at that place, a lot of people spend a lot of time in Slack versus getting shit done, would be my worry about that.
Ooh.
Because even, like the past, how long have we been using Slack? At least 15 years, 12 years, something like that. The biggest complaint I've heard about Slack and struggle for people is they can't keep up. And some of the biggest performance challenges, issues that I've dealt with personally as a people partner is people don't do any work. They just hang out in Slack channels all day. The cat channel, the dog channel, the baby channel. You can surf channels all day long is what I'm saying. And so it can get very rabbit hole-y very quick. And I could see that happening here. Even if it's not bad intent and people are productive, I'm sure that not everyone has to read everyone else's stuff related to their jobs, is all I'm saying. So I think it could be a time waster.
Now that I'm thinking about it even more, There's a time and a place for Slack, and I feel like everybody just kind of like defaults to it, and then next thing you know, you're typing out 7 paragraphs, which is, typically like red flag. This shouldn't be a Slack conversation anymore. Like we should be talking about this live. One of the things that we did at Continuum when we were building that company is Greg, my CTO, instituted this document called How We Slack, and it had rules. And so it was like, if this is super urgent and must be dealt with right now, pick up the phone and call me, right? If it's like, if it's something that needs to be responded to in the next hour or two, sure, put it in Slack. Basically nothing internally in email, because it's like, God, like we don't have time to check 17 apps. But to your point around like people are so burnt out by Slack because it's just like, it's overwhelming. And at the end of the day, like getting work done is typically not associated with how many Slacks you sent.
Right. Yes, exactly. Now, since we're on the other side of it, I do really like the underlying attempt for transparency with this. I do like it. So like when I'm Slacking, for example, before I DM someone, like let's just pretend, I have 5 direct reports, right? People team leads. I could easily DM one of them. I will stop and I will say, you know what? I'm going to put this in the leads channel because 1, it's transparent. 2, it connects the team together on something that the recruiting team might need to hear in addition to the people partner lead team. And it gives business context so that you're growing and grooming and developing holistic leaders versus just like, this is a recruiting issue. This is a people partner issue. So I do like that, and I try to do that in larger channels whenever possible.
That kind of reminds me of the Jensen Huang, who's the CEO at NVIDIA. He doesn't do one-on-ones with his directs.
Right.
And his take is like, the problem is if you do a one-on-one, you're not disseminating the information in the most efficient way possible. And instead what you're doing is like, if you have this one-on-one, then you have to go tell 10 people individually, right? And it also fosters this culture of like saying things in the one-on-one that you wouldn't say at the team level.
Yes.
Which is super toxic.
Yes. So I just accent to the group, and I think having just the space for one-on-ones is good. But if like we start getting into something in the one-on-one, I'll be like, you know what? We got leads meeting later tomorrow, or let's just talk about this in the Slack channel. Like the group should hear. We should talk through this because it will ultimately make us more successful, impactful, save some work down the line. So you got to kind of think of it that way. I like that. Hey everyone, we'll be right back in a moment after a word from our sponsors. On this show, we tell the truth about HR. And one of my favorite conversations we've had was with Melanie Naranjo. She put it so simply: HR isn't about optimizing for compliance. It's optimizing for people, for culture, trust, and workplaces where folks actually want to stay. That's why I'm such a fan of what Melanie and her team at Ethena are building. She was brutally honest about it.
So Ethena, we're a compliance company, which let's just put it out there. That sounds pretty boring if you think about it, right? Okay, harassment prevention training, not very exciting, right? We are very lucky in that we are in the HR tech space that's required, right? Harassment prevention training is not really optional. You need it. The question is, who are you going to use for it?
Exactly. You're doing this training whether you want to or not. But here's what she told us about the impact.
The amount of impact that I've been able to have from the HR perspective has been just huge. It's phenomenal. We're doing all these amazing things that, quite frankly, too many companies don't do because they don't understand the power of their HR team.
Instead of boring, check-the-box training that everyone hates, Ethena delivers content that's modern and impactful. We're talking 200-plus courses in 100-plus languages with a 93% learner positivity rating to back it up. They take on all the tough topics: harassment prevention, workplace violence prevention, code of conduct, and make them actually engaging. And for HR, it's effortless. Training runs on autopilot with automated enrollments and reminders. There's even a built-in hotline and case management system to help a true speak-up culture. Look, you're going to do compliance training anyway. Why not use something that actually works and doesn't make your people want to hide under their desks? Done right, like with Ethena, compliance becomes a strategic tool. It's actually a way to reinforce your values and build a stronger workplace. Check them out at goathena.com/heretics. That's GoAthena, GoEthena.com/heretics. Get 10% off of your first year. AI changes how work gets done. Recruiting is no exception. Metaview is the AI platform purpose-built for recruiting. If you're looking to level up your AI adoption and see real impact from intake to offer, it's a no-brainer. Metaview's suite of AI agents works for you at every stage of the hiring process. Their platform powers instant job post creation, AI-powered candidate Q&A, insights on pipeline performance, compensation, and so much more. I've seen firsthand how tough it can be to extract consistently high-quality data from candidate conversations. I've been in candidate debriefs where interviewers told us about their feelings instead of what actually happened in the interview. And I've seen VPs and CEOs block hires because they didn't learn anything from skeleton scorecards. Metaview changes all of that. For every candidate in every pipeline, bring radical efficiency and precision to your hiring process with perfect data from every conversation. Metaview covers all of your compliance needs, works with all of your existing tools, and takes less than 3 minutes to set up. Join talent leaders at more than 3,000 elite companies like Brex, Deel, 11 Labs, and Quora, and check out Metaview. Just head over to metaview.ai/heretics to talk to one of Metaview's product experts or get started for free. You'll be up, running, and AI enabled in minutes.
The other take on this is like transparency from the CEO. And one of the things I learned working with Henry is overly transparent leads to more trust and more informed decisions on the ground. And so when you are like hyper transparent, even when like legal's telling you no and HR is telling you no, it turns out that like people really appreciate that. And what I found at Carta was on the ground, people can make more informed decisions because we know exactly how the CEO is thinking versus kind of like the veneer that they put on at all hands. And like, we're having these like highly performative meetings that don't matter at all. So I don't know, maybe I am taking the other side on this. Like maybe I think it's more of just a function of the medium, right? And it's like, yeah, like if you're putting something in Slack around someone's performance, you're using the wrong medium already.
Yes. I think it ultimately just boils down to judgment, Nolan. And I think it's advantageous for anyone, leaders or not, to err on the side of inclusion and transparency and providing context to everyone on the team. Because it's just better. It's better for business. It's better for culture. And like, honestly, secret selfish, it's a way to develop leaders. Like, can we actually use Slack to develop leaders? That's incredible. Like, I use it so that I can be transparent. So honestly, it makes my job easier because they can do more stuff and they have more context around the board. So you're building, you know, this capability through this that you just don't do when it's like an individual DM unless it has to be. You know, it's so funny. You're going to either love this or hate this, but I think I might have started a new approach at Supio because I think I told you this. Like, I can't really see that well anymore. I'm about to get bifocals. I'm getting old and lazy, and I can't like see the buttons on text. And so I use audio text a lot. And then I was kind of like, you know, audio text is incredible because you can do it anywhere. You can be driving, you can be walking, you can be... But the main reason I really like it, it's faster. That's the other thing. The third reason, and the most important reason I like it, is it captures nuance and context that you can just totally miss in writing. Either you don't write something the right way, you forget something, people read it wrong. I love a good verbal thing. So we're using it. Jerry and I, the CEO of Supio, you know, he'll love this. We probably leave 4 each a day.
Wow.
And we get so much done so much faster without writing, taking time to write, then you're not paying attention to the meeting you're in because you're typing. Waiting for a synchronous meeting, which is like impossible. Yeah. Schedules, guys like an AI, you know, engineer, he stays up till like midnight doing this stuff. I've got curlers and my nightgown on by 9:30. So like I'll wake up and he'll have left me a 4-minute audio message. I'll wake up at 6:30, leave him back at 7. He's getting his kids off 8:39, listens to it. It works so well, and now everyone's doing it in Slack. So like today he left me and 2 of our tech recruiters an audio message in Slack. It got to all 3 of us, 3 different geolocations around ML, engineering hiring approach. Everyone's on the same page. They hear the context verbally from the horse's mouth. Like, no meeting, 2 minutes, no typing. It's incredible. So maybe I'm behind the eight ball here, people, but audio messages in Slack are incredible.
Kelly, I love that. I actually just saw somebody on Twitter say something along the lines of like, maybe I'm in the minority, but like I hate when somebody sends me an audio message because now all the onus is put on me to like listen to this whole thing. And I'm like, dude, whoever's sending you audio messages sucks. And to your point around judgment, it's a really good one, right? Because it's all about using different modes of communication for the right, like for the thing and the specific topic. Like, I love your take on like, hey, sometimes synchronous, like we don't have time for this. Like, or we don't need to. It can just go back and forth. The other piece that I think about often with typing takes a long time. Like, sometimes it is helpful to collect your thoughts and to put something down, but not always.
One thing I'm learning in this industry, Nolan, in this role, is the pace. The pace of change, the pace of execution, the pace of decision making, at least for right now, it is like 10x'd. And there's no more, oh, it's Wednesday, we have a one-on-one Friday, let's talk then. Hell, you can't even wait till the end of the day sometimes. So I'm telling you, like, we still talk synchronously, of course, and in person when we can, but we get more done in those 4 each audio messages per day than we would in an hour meeting. Like, It's kind of like all the crust of the sandwich is like cut off and you just get the fairway of the, the middle of the sandwich if you don't like crust, which I don't. And it's incredible. And, it's a Friday afternoon. I'm at the airport flying home from Seattle, and I leave my HR direct a 3-minute voice text. I'm like, I'm not going to bother you. It's 4:30. Listen to this. Go have a glass of wine. I'm going on the plane. I don't want to have a long chat. I just want to leave this. 3 things, quick updates and context, so I don't forget. We'll pick it up Monday. She's like, that was the most helpful thing. I had no anxiety all weekend. We tied off on stuff. I understood the context. Didn't need to chat. So, I don't know. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, you use it really well. I do think it, really matters about the leader and if the leader's down with it. But just like everything else, experiment.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
All right. See you, homies. HR Heretics is a podcast from Turpentine, the network behind Econ 102, Moment of Zen, and Turpentine VC. Subscribe, 5 stars, share it on Apple, YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts, all the things.